All right. A Rodrygo to Arsenal loan move has been explored, guys, by the club of Arsenal, and it comes in from Defensa Central, and that is from Spain. Smash the like button, comment, and share if you're only watching us for the very first time. Endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers onto this channel before this month really comes to an end. Guys, let's put onto the foot on the pedal by subscribing. As for me, I'm doing my job. I'm obviously bringing you a story or stories after stories onto this beautiful channel in here for you. Now, Thomas Frank is in. He has gone ahead to explain about his squad of Tottenham Hotspur, and we're going to be discussing about that too. And lastly, Joan Garcia, who signed for Barcelona, looks like he is not yet registered to play for Barcelona as the La Liga looms to obviously go ahead and obviously resume. So guys, those are the three stories you're obviously going to be breaking down onto this beautiful channel known as the Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really having fun. How is your evening, my mate? It's a Saturday, and by this time next week, it will be, or will be counting hours for United to obviously face off with Arsenal at Old Trafford. Big game, big encounter into the mix as the club of Man United will be hosting Arsenal. And I know you're waiting for the match preview, and for that, I know that recording will hit 10,000 views onto this beautiful YouTube channel that is Rokani Media Football, because we are setting the pace, and I'm really excited with how you guys are really trying to obviously move on and really give us the best that we deserve into the mix. Now, Rodrygo is one of those players that Arsenal has shortlisted as far as the left attacking midfield area is really concerned. The list also has Ebelechi Eze, right? But one of the players that Arsenal is going to be facing today, that is Nico Williams, was part of that list. But the moment he went ahead to obviously renew his contract with Atletico Bilbao, then Arsenal were like, you are off our list. Leroy Sane was there and very many others, but Arsenal now has those two onto the list. And now, the news that has gone ahead to come in through indicates that Real Madrid has no interest in agreeing a loan move deal for Rodrygo. Arsenal are thought to be exploring a temporary transfer for the Brazilian. When we talk about a temporary transfer, we are talking about a loan. We are talking about a loan move that Arsenal is obviously trying to figure out and see to it that it all goes on well as planned for the club of Arsenal. So, right now, I want to let you know that Arsenal is skeptical onto whether Rodrygo will hit the ground running. I'm telling you this. Arsenal has the money to sign Rodrygo. But why are they considering to obviously bring him on a loan? The reason is simple. He is not a Premier League proven player, and he might need to adapt to the league. And that's why for Ebelechi Eze, Arsenal is willing to obviously pay the amount of money. And we went ahead to bring you a story that Jacobs Ben went ahead and told us that Arsenal is willing to cough £55 million for Ebelechi Eze. You get? But they are not willing to pay or to really pay for Rodrygo permanently for now, because they know to it that it is really 50-50. He might come in through and want to work out well, and he might come in through and also work out well, And the other reason as to why I think Arsenal can obviously pull out this move is that Arsenal has gone ahead to get in players on loan from Real Madrid. You remember Julio Baptista from Real Madrid. He was loaned to Arsenal. You remember Dani Ceballos was loaned to Arsenal, from Real Madrid. Then Odegaard was also loaned to Arsenal, and then later he was signed as a permanent player for the club of Arsenal. So, I think Arsenal has all what it takes to tell Real Madrid that Rodrygo is a very good player. By the time he's coming to Arsenal, he is a finished product, not like Odegaard. You gave us Odegaard. He was really a work in progress. And when he proved himself, we came in through and really coughed 30 million euros and paid for him. Now, let's crack business like we've always gone ahead to crack business. Get us Rodrygo on loan, right? After getting us Rodrygo on loan, if he obviously proves us right, we'll obviously have to pay for him next season. Now, with such with such a presentation, I think Madrid can be moved on. And I think Andre Barca has all what it takes to see to it that he has all what it takes to obviously pull off such a negotiation, because we've gone ahead to see him really do the needful on the negotiation for the deal of Victor Gyökeres. Don't you really trust him on really doing that job? For me, I really trust him when it comes to really negotiating that. But the problem is, Madrid needs money. Madrid needs money. And if you offload Rodrygo, that means you're obviously going to be bringing in another player, you know, of his stature. And that midfield of Madrid is really lacking, you know, at least for the CDM, you can obviously balance it off with Tchouaméni or Valverde into the mix. But the central attacking midfield area, you know, we don't know whether a player known as Adagula will obviously live up to the expectations, or the manager will deploy a 4-3-3 system. But I've gone ahead to read the story that Alonso wants to attack with two strikers to accommodate Vini Jr., Endrick, and Kylian Mbappe. Looks like the front three, he might be looking like that. So I don't know how he's obviously going to be really looking. Is he going to go for a system of 4-1-3-2? Because in a 4-1-3-2 system, you can find Tchouaméni playing as a single pivot, then Vini Jr., left attacking midfielder, then you are having in a Jude Bellingham in there, then you are also having an Adagula playing as a right attacking midfielder. Then you have in a player called Kylian Mbappe and Endrick leading the line, all one Garcia. So that's exactly what you're really having in here onto the Rokani Media Football. And Rodrygo's departure means a lot. Though Madrid is not interested in agreeing a loan deal for Rodrygo, Arsenal is like, you might put out a statement like that, but when we really sit with you on the table, don't you think things will change? You know, don't you think things will change? You understand? And that narrative will obviously change for the better. I tell you this, that narrative will obviously change for the better. So, guys, it's nice having you in here, and I'm really excited to be here presenting you this video, because I think Rodrygo, for me, is one of the best players that Arsenal need to obviously bring to their club. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but for me, Rodrygo is Rodrygo, and for whatever he has gone ahead obviously put out in there, I really love the player in Rodrygo, and I really feel like he is one of those that Arsenal needs to obviously bring up to the standard. And we all know how good this player has gone ahead to be, and nothing is obviously going to stop these people from obviously doing the needful to obviously see to it that all goes on well as planned. So, as it stands, the side of Arsenal is really pursuing transfers of two players, and one of that is Rodrygo and Ebelechi Eze. Now, there is a story I've gone ahead to say to it that Arsenal can obviously bring both of them, and I'm like, oh my God, if Arsenal brings both of those players, guys, it will be something really huge. And that's why they're exploring a loan for Rodrygo, to see to it that they obviously put in huge cash, you know, for Ebelechi Eze, and then they get this guy on a permanent, on a temporary, such that next summer they can obviously go for him, because they cannot labor out to miss him this summer. You know, they not it that if he's not signed this summer, then it will be hard to obviously have him the coming summer. That's what you're really getting in through from the side of Real Madrid and Arsenal. So I don't know what your thoughts are about this. Do you think Madrid will obviously accept a temporary move for Rodrygo, because they've obviously gone ahead to really do some good business with Arsenal? All that and more into the comment section below at this juncture in there. So from that, let's obviously get to the other London rivalry, or rival, of Arsenal, who goes by names of Spurs. They are really trying to do the needful. They lost to Bayern Munich in the midweek, and I think they're going to be playing one more game before they obviously see themselves get into the start of the season, as they also prepare to play the Super Cup with PSG in there. Thomas Frank has gone ahead and obviously hinted onto some of the important factors about his side, and I'm talking about a team known as Spurs. He has said the squad needs to be big and robust enough so we can compete in all 4 tournaments. But I can't have too many players. It's just so difficult to keep everyone happy. It's almost impossible. Now, when you look at Spurs under Thomas Frank, he's obviously going to be getting his first job that is obviously going to be having a lot of pressure. I tell you this, pressure is really going to be huge, as Ange Postecoglou, who left the side of Spurs, first and foremost, had brought back Spurs to its philosophy of playing football. If you're going to hate to see Spurs from the days of Martignol, Spurs was a tiki-taka team. But when they brought in a manager known as Jose Mourinho, Nuno Espirito, Conte, Antonio, they had left their philosophy. And right now, they are back to it ever since Ange Postecoglou came in through. But I'm not going to hate to see this manager known as Thomas Frank play that tiki-taka. But we wait to see, because the quality of players that you do have obviously get you or define the system that you're obviously going to be playing. Now, the guy known as Thomas Frank is like, he needs lots of players to obviously play into this season. And they all know to it that the squad has 26 players, if I'm not mistaken. And the others, unless they are coming in from the B list. B list are players who really coming through from the academy. That is what we're really having in here for the club of Spurs. But I think they are going to be stretched a little bit, but they've tried to keep most of their players, because I've just gone ahead to see Son Heung-min leave, and Timo Werner. But even if Timo Werner leaves, I don't think it's been that important player, at the side of Tottenham Hotspur. I see Solanke. If you keep Solanke, James Maddison injured, but I know he'll come back. If you really have just Richarlison, you are having Johnson, you are having Pame Tassar, Yefis Besuma, who was linked to Fenerbahce, and he really said, I want to stay in the Premier League because I led this team to the triumph of the UEFA Europa League and I need to play in the Champions League. Then they've also gone ahead to keep the likes of Dudogi, Christian Romero, who Real Madrid wanted. They managed to keep him, and he's now one of those players that is going to be featuring at the club of Spurs. If you give Pedro Porro there, it's really a very huge communication that you've gone ahead to send, and very many other players. Kulusevski coming in through, as you also added Mohamed Kudus to the squad. That is really a brilliant signing for the club of Tottenham Hotspur. And I tell you what, they are obviously going to be competing hugely for the big stage in there for you. So as it stands, Thomas Frank says I can't keep everyone happy because of the limited substitutions. And even for any elite manager, you need to obviously name your 11. And if you can name like 8 players consistently, then you will have gone ahead to take the box of obviously coming up with a squad. But obviously, I think his team has always gone ahead to pick itself, because when I saw his starting 11, it never differed a lot from that of Ange Postecoglou. If you really went ahead to watch that game of Bayern Munich, where Spurs went ahead to lose by 4-0, you understand? And when you look at Spurs, they had Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, right back, Spence, left back, Christian Romero and Van der Ven played into the double pivot. Then Bentancur, had even forgotten him, and Paulinho went ahead to play to the double pivot. Mohamed Kudus, right attacking midfielder. Brian Johnson, left attacking midfielder. Pame Tassar, central attacking midfielder, and Richarlison went ahead to lead the line. And then later, he brought on Yefis Besuma, Matthias Tel, Archie Gray, Lucas Bagville, Wilson Osupat, Ben Davies in there. But he really looks like he needs to obviously add a little bit. That's why he went in for Gibbs, and they are like, please, you are not taking Gibbs anywhere. We are really having him here. So guys, I think he's a very good manager, because Man United looked at him, Chelsea looked at him as replacements for Eric Ten Hag and Pochettino respectively. That means he's really quite a good manager, and he can really do the job for Spurs. But the problem is, Danny Levy won't wait. For the time he has gone ahead to test on the victory of a trophy, and he sacked the manager that went ahead to win him a trophy, I don't think that will entertain any waiting statements in there for you. So wait and see how that pans out. But it's really important to note that the club of Spurs needs more players, and the manager is really working hard to obviously impress the fans. Now, Marca from Spain has told us that Barca cannot register Juan Garcia, even with the departure of Inigo Martinez. The reason is the club is still not within the 1-1 rule and cannot use the salary space for Juan Garcia's registration. So Barcelona is really having very many problems, you know. They missed out on signing Nico Williams because he first told them, I want an assurance that you're obviously going to be registering me, you know. Because Nico Williams saw to it that Dani Olmo came in through and he went through the same shit. And it was like, I'm not ready to go through the same shit, you know. So, for Juan Garcia's case, I tell you, it is really very disappointing because he's a very good player and he left the club where he was. You know, there are very many other teams that were interested in him. Arsenal wanted him, Man United wanted him, even City, name it. But he was like, I'm going to go to a side known as Barcelona. But if you're really going through all this as a player, I think it really perturbs you a little bit because training, not anticipating that you'll obviously find yourself into the team of Arsenal, so in the team of Barcelona at any time is really very bad for a player. But I think Juan Laporte will obviously try to maneuver around and really get this player registered. And I think they won't obviously fidget a lot because this player, they're having Ter Stegen, who is really back, you understand. And I think he would have gone ahead to borrow the idea of Nico Williams, you know. He asked them, how are you going to register me? Get me proof, you know. And Nico Williams' agent was also talking to, is it Javier Tebas, the president of La Liga, and was telling him, please, can Barcelona really register this player, you know? And Javier Tebas told him they cannot obviously register him. So that's exactly what would have to happen in there at the club of Barcelona. And if you've been following up the deal of a player known as Benjamin Sesko to Man United, he went ahead to make the same request to the side of Man United. He told them, the only way I'm coming to your club is when you obviously show me proof that you can obviously make that financial bid of really signing me, and that financial proof was put in, and the moment it went in, the player went ahead to obviously sign for the club of Man United. And guess what? They've just gone ahead to unveil him today at Old Trafford as United drew 1-1 with Atletico Bilbao. So I think that's how players should obviously behave when you're really going, or when you're really having, when you really want to play for a team that is so much sunk into financial problems of really registering players in there for you. So I don't know how Barcelona obviously going to overcome this because they've gone ahead to bring in Marcus Rashford. And for him, I think because they share the salary with the Man United, I think it will be easy for them to sign him. And I think for Juan Garcia, it was not really imminent, right? Because as I've told you, there is already Ter Stegen who can obviously do the job. You understand? So we wait and see how that pans out. And I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about one, Rodrygo to Arsenal on move explored. What are your thoughts about it? One. Secondly, Juan Garcia cannot be registered right now, even though Inigo Martinez has gone ahead to obviously depart. You understand? And went to the Saudi Pro League. And lastly, will Thomas Frank succeed at Spurs if you know the pressure that job comes with, as Danny Levy has gone ahead to sack very many managers in the recent 5 years. You know, you can count Mourinho, one, because Mourinho came in through towards COVID time, then Antonio Conte, two, then Espirito, who is now the manager of Nuno Espirito Santos, who is the manager of Nottingham Forest, you understand? And the other one is the manager who has just gone ahead to leave and won them the UEFA Europa League, that is Ange Postecoglou. Will he survive? Because in the last 5 years, I've gone ahead to see this man sack like 4 managers. You understand? So, I sign out for now. See you later. We are returning with the match day live Arsenal versus Atletico Bilbao.